We've already printed so much money and caused so much inflation that the American people are under record levels of debt. But when people borrow money and spend money, we call that economic growth. So the money printer is going to continue relentlessly. Hey everybody, it's JJ. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. It is Friday, August 20th, 2021. This is our second report today. The last report was a little bit of a different type of report, and I try to step outside the strike zone every now and then just to try to keep things interesting. The thing is, when you go off into different subjects that you don't really hit on very often, it tends to really throw off the algorithm, and not many people get a chance to see it. But a few of you did say, it was nice to see this reporting about the ghost cities in Japan. So thank you for tuning in. This episode here, right now, that you're listening to is going to be more of our regular economic update, and this is going to be our Friday edition. And as usual, we're going to head over to Twitter and see what a lot of well-respected people in the economic scene have to say about the current situation. And I really feel like the United States and the world, but the United States especially, is headed into some very, very perilous economic times. Let's start right here with the student loan debacle. And we've said here that the student loan payments are likely never going to be able to be paid back. Well, slowly but surely, there's more and more debt elimination and debt forgiveness happening for students. Biden is canceling $5.8 billion in student loan debt, the largest amount so far. I know there's going to be a lot more debt cancellation after this. I think this is just the beginning. Now, this particular debt elimination round is for severely disabled people. And here's how they describe it. Quote, today's action removes a major barrier that prevented far too many borrowers with disabilities from receiving the total and permanent disability discharges they are entitled to under the law, unquote. So on one hand, I'm happy for these especially disabled people that are getting this debt discharged. On the other hand, something tells me there's going to be a lot more people claiming that they're disabled with things like this. And the students, I don't think that many of them believe that their debt's ever going to get fully erased. But what do you do if it's even a possibility? Do you keep paying your loans? Or do you just quit paying your loans? Even if you have the capability of paying the loan, but there's a chance of it getting completely erased, wouldn't you just stop paying it, even if there was just a small chance? So it seems to me this is going to further incentivize people not to pay back these loans. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. All right, let's talk about something that some people out there think is the solution, and that's raising taxes on the wealthy. The biggest tax hike on the wealthy since 1993 is bogged down in Congress. So the lawmakers are still debating this. But here's the thing. Many people think that this is the solution, that raising taxes on the wealthy or mega corporations is going to fix this. The debt still cannot be paid off. Right? It feels good and it's fun to see the wealthier pay more taxes. But what do you think is going to happen? They're just going to keep printing more money. The debt is going to exceed any possible increase in tax revenue from the wealthy. Right? It's no match for the printing press. The debt can never be paid off. Take a look at this article here. Yahoo Finance. The pandemic $16 trillion bill will come due as debt surges. Does anyone think this is ever going to be paid off? Here's a chart here of all the different countries. And just since the beginning of the pandemic, $16 trillion in new debt. We see the US down here. And this is the increase in the debt to GDP ratio. And you see the US here close to the top here in about fourth place. All right. And again, I know a lot of you people that I see in comments down there want to really put it to the wealthy and make them pay higher taxes. But at this point, is it even really worth it? Is it even worth collecting taxes when you know it can never be paid off? It just seems pointless at this point. Right? It's kind of like a household that's facing bankruptcy, and when you get towards the end, you just really start spending money without even trying to save, because you're pretty much bankrupt and you're never going to pay off the debt. But it seems like this is where we're at. Is it even worth raising taxes on anyone now because the debt can never be paid off? Yeah, I think they'll still use it as a control mechanism. Now, let's go back over to Twitter here again. And this is out of David Hunter. We've talked about David Hunter before. And we know the Fed, they've been talking about tapering. Now, can the Fed completely pull away from supporting the markets and the banks? No, you would see an instant collapse. But just the talk of tapering has some people figuring that there might be some sort of market pullback or correction. Well, David Hunter says the following quote, as happens often, investors are stuck on a false narrative. The Fed will taper in September, and it means the US dollar up, metals down, market down, and ultimately the economy down. These consensus fake narratives typically precede big reversals and will here the US dollar to 85, gold to 2500, silver to 45 or $50, S&P 5,000 plus. End of tweet. That was David Hunter. But if you look at the tweet below this, the Fed will be caught by inflation or a market crash. Right? So either way, and a lot of people agree, and I agree that there's not many easy ways out of this, maybe no easy way out of it. It's going to be dangerous. If they keep pushing markets higher to infinity, you're going to see Zimbabwe type of inflation here. It's already starting to take off like we've never seen before. If they pull back, there's going to be a crash. Will they be able to navigate it to where there's not much pain? It's unlikely. They can kick the can down the road. But even now, things are getting much more difficult for people. People are not able to get back to paying their loans. Again, look at the student loans. Things are not going back to normal. Look at the eviction moratorium. It's just extend and extend again and pretend that everything's going to be fine. And they have to come up with more excuses on why they have to keep extending this. Are people believing it? Do you believe it? Well, I don't think most people here are buying that particular narrative, at least on this channel, but maybe most of America is, and America is going to continue to be fooled into thinking that everything's just fine with this economy, with this financial system. But as usual, we've got to say, keep stacking, keep prepared, stay safe, everybody, stay healthy. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.